This weekend's a big one for that hope to remain real. The quarterback of the New York Jets, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron.
Hello, Aaron.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good luck to your Jets this weekend playing against the Colts.
I might not be getting that pregame text from you, huh?
Hey, it might look a little different. That's all I'm saying. It might look a little bit different. Like, hey, today, give these boys a chance. Let these Colts. We've been through a lot over here. Obviously, this Jet season has been a lot over there as well. And that game aside, obviously, would like to hear your thoughts on everything right now. Because I think with the way the season has gone, up, down, we've had some moments, up, we're back, we're here, we've arrived. Then you play this weekend. That game goes how it goes, and now we're back down. It's been a lot of this. But just like we were just saying about the Miami Dolphins fans, just like the Colts fans are saying, just like a lot of places are saying, in your building, what is the mindset? What is the thought on how to finish this season for the New York Jets?
Well, it hasn't changed for me. I think you got to approach it the same every single week. When there's a lot of conversation like, oh, what are you going to do now? Like, well, you do what you know how to do. You go back to work. Preparation stays the same. Maybe it kicks up a little bit if you need to for guys that, feel like they can give a little more. But I've been doing this a long time, and the preparation stays the same. Focus stays the same. I think you got to handle it with humility. Been a lot of pies to be eaten around here this year. Flavored humble.
Yeah. Big ones. Big New York pies.
Yeah, New York pies.
Those big New York pies.
Good pies.
And it's not a buck a slice either. These are, yeah.
But you gotta hold on to that beautiful thing in life called hope. Mm-hmm. And that's just that there's a chance. We're not mathematically eliminated. There's a lot to play for. At the end of the day, one thing that we can play for, whether we're 10-0 or 3-7, is pride. Pride in your performance, pride in the product you're putting on the field, not wanting to let your coaches down, your teammates down, the guys in the locker room, the men and women that you see every day at work. There's got to be pride in that. It's got to be pride that spurs you on Monday night when you're tired and you just had a long flight and you sit down, you watch your film, and you wake up Tuesday morning, you get after it in preparation, you go in the facility, you take care of your body, you do your workout or whatever it might be, and then you get after it Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, make sure you're ready to go Wednesday with questions, with ideas, and hitting your coach up, making sure that you get an early look at the plans, you can come in with some questions and do all the little things. I think a lot of times when shit's not going your way, they want to make it about there's a big thing, it's a coach's fault or player's fault or my fault or Todd's fault or Salah's fault, obviously, or Hackett's fault, whoever you want to lay blame on. But a lot of times it comes down to just doing little things. It's the little things that actually add up to the big things. And then, on the outside world, you just see like a very easy fix, get rid of this person, get rid of that person, do this, do that. But in the end, it's a lot of times just little habits by players and preparation and coaches and the building sometimes that make a difference between 3-7 and 7-3 for us, because there are multiple games that we could have won just on the field. But off the field, sometimes where the wins and losses happen, that we forget about the Monday to Saturday game that we aren't winning consistently enough, I don't think, week to week. Sunday product is what it is. We've been inconsistent. We've had good games, good halves, bad games, inconsistent games. Most of it has been not playing complementary football on all three sides, which obviously happened in Arizona. We had a chance on our first two drives to stay tight, regardless of what happened on our defense. They went down, scored. We had a chance to get 7 there. We had, didn't execute and settle for a field goal. They went down, scored again. Now it's 14-3. We went down the field again, put together a nice drive, and didn't get 7 again. Now it's 14-6. And they go down, scores 21-6. And then, we went 3 and out, and then it's 24-6 at half. Then we have another chance to get back in the game. We drive down the field and get inside the 10. Can't score. Sack, fumble on 4th down. Unfortunately, with the guy open to make it 24, 13, or 14 if we go for 2. And then the game's different. So it's on us, to fix it, obviously. But you're not going to fix it by doing the same thing. There's little tweaks in the Monday to Saturday, I think, can turn this thing. And you turn this thing, you beat a Colts team that's had some up and down, games themselves. Some games they played really well and won. Some games where they probably felt like they should have won. They're 4-6. They're not out of it. They're still in it. They got a lot of veteran players over there, a lot of pride. But a chance for us to get a win, get into the bye week, and then look at the back half, the last 6 of our schedule with, I said after the game, we got a couple West Coast teams coming out for 1 o'clock games. We have 3 division games, and we are at Jacksonville. So crazy it is. There's still a lot of things right in front of us, but starts with finding a way to get a win against Indy this weekend.
You know what they say, and I appreciate your insight on all of that. You've played, obviously, 18 years in the NFL now, going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. They say the little things take care of the big. If you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. That's kind of like the mindset. Process-driven people are normally the people that end up lasting longest. The same conversation that you just chatted about there is happening here in Indianapolis, which kind of leads to a different question. Do you think over your time, it has been I don't want to say a decline, because that would be negative, but it's obviously a different time, in like being a professional athlete and like handling like keeping the main thing. And obviously you come on this show every single Tuesday, so people will say, is he keeping the main thing? It's like players have had Tuesday interviews in the NFL since the beginning of time. But I'm just saying,
there's also a lot of people trying to copy what we were doing.
No.
Some other shows.
No. That ain't. Hey, by the way, shout out to us. 5 years.
Yeah, crazy.
Through a lot of wild times. But do you see a difference in like...
Great times. A lot of great times.
Wild times. Yeah, great times. There's been great times. God, there's been great times.
Couple wild times.
There's real wild times. Yeah. I was getting attacked in different languages. I didn't know it was possible. I was being called a big fat slob in a tank top in a different language. That was a wild time. Anyways, have you seen a difference, though, in like the generations, because you've been through a couple different now with length of your career, on like being a professional and understanding the buy-in on what it is to be an NFL player? Have you noticed any difference? And I'm not saying you need to call it any names, but we're in a much different time now than we were when guys literally had nothing else to do but ball. Like that is it. Now it's a vastly different space, seemingly.
I think that's part of the progression of the league, is that the popularity has soared. There's been a lot of changes with schedule. We were talking the other day, back when I was a young player, first, second, second, third, fourth season especially, the rules were different in the offseason. We were there, to be middle of March, and that gave you a lot of chances to work on little things and learn how to speak the language of football, learn how to be an expert of your offense, learn how to speak the language of defenses, and learn fronts and pressures and coverages and tendencies and alignments on defense. So you can have a conversation in a room and talk about 42 LX front and middle fire pressure and the different stuff behind it, and bringing flame pressure and playing 2-slide blitz on behind, and all these different little terms you can learn to speak the language, and also really hone the fundamentals. So think about it, you had 6 weeks before the draft, mostly just young players working on their craft. Now, none of the young players, nobody comes in till I believe middle of April at the earliest, so you're already a month behind. The college game obviously influences all of it, and I think there's a lot of really good stuff in it. When I was playing in high school, it was 21 personnel, a lot of I-back stuff. Even at college, at Cal, I didn't take one snap in the gun. Now, a lot of these kids are taking every snap in the gun. They clap for cadence. They don't call a huddle. So there's some kind of basic things that have to be learned on the fly by a number of people, because linemen are looking over at the sideline. They're getting their signal, or they're on a wristband. There's not a lot of communication. And in turn, what's that made, because you don't have the same type of time in the off season and you have a different game in college, is you've changed the way offenses play. And some of it's really good, and some of it can showcase amazing skills of guys like a Jaden Daniels, who's had a fantastic season.
Cool.
And obviously what Lamar did in college, some of the same stuff he's doing now. And he's made himself into a fantastic passer from the pocket. But the game has shifted. I think there's a lot of good things in that. But there's also the social media influence, which has made, all of the content very valuable, because now you can monetize all the content. So back in the day, I say it's a lot. I'm the old guy saying how we used to play, cards and dominoes in the locker room. Now it's, guys talking about meeting up afterwards, playing video games and linking up. or you're working on your social media post in the locker room. So it's changed the dynamic for sure. Some good for sure, some good, and some just different. Not bad or good. It's just different. It's different day and age. There's a lot more things to take your mind off of football. And there's an insulation, I think, being in Green Bay because you don't have a big city life or, these, restaurants you got to go get to or different things or, they talk about the media. I always thought the media in Green Bay was great, but not easy. But there's a lot of distractions. And in the end, it comes down to, can you figure out a way to prepare that gets you ready to play? Can you go out and execute what you prepared? Because every offense, regardless who's calling it, can be great or terrible. It just comes down to execution. And the coaches get blamed, but in the end, it's the players who are out there trying to execute it. And when there are mistakes, the majority of the time, it comes down to preparation. And you got to look at what you were doing during your downtime, how much communication were you having on the side, and then practice habits too. Great teams practice a certain way, and we've actually, unfortunately, had some really good weeks of practice because the product hasn't always been great. But I feel like the last 3 weeks have been the 3 best weeks of practice we've had. So nobody, I don't feel like on offense felt like we were going to go out and score 6 points. Now, credit to their defense; they got some really good players, and did some good things. But I often feel like it's us against us out there. We're kind of playing against ourselves, and if we don't screw it up, we can be a dynamic offense. But unfortunately, too many times we've been the ones screwing it up.
Yeah, that's everywhere, brother. I don't think that's just one place. I appreciate your insight into all that, too, because I haven't been in the locker room, obviously, as many things have changed over the last 8 years, 7 years. I could see how it'd be difficult, to keep the main thing. But I think what a lot of people don't understand, I'm not talking about your situation. I'm not talking about just the Colts situation. I'm talking about every situation in the NFL with guys who haven't been cut before or fired. It's like, you are here you are a piece of gum, okay? And whenever your flavor runs out, whether it's an end of an ability or an end of a likingness or an end of professional, whatever it is, whenever your flavor is no longer the one, literally, it is spit out. And there's no rules on where that thing can be spit out or when it could be your birthday. Yeah. It could be, they will spit your ass out and move on to the next piece of gum and it's over. Then you're sitting on a bar stool wondering what the hell happened. It's like, well, you had your opportunity, you didn't take advantage of it. Like, people don't think that's possible because throughout their entire life, they've never been cut. Everybody's wanted them on our team. We want you on our team. Please, God, be on our team. Please, if you're on our team's better. Then you get to the NFL, it's like everybody in this league has been that person at a different stage of their life. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunities potentially being blown by people, and I don't like that. And I'm not talking about your situation, but I think I am talking about like learning about this Indianapolis situation more and more and more and more and more. And I'm like, what do? You have a chance to be fucking, not just AR. This is like everybody. You have a chance to be awesome. You have a chance to be great. And you're just kind of why? You're just wasting. There's no reason to do that.
Well, I think I can speak on that a little bit. I think there's a game within the game that I think people just miss. And if you're an average player, playing the game within the game will allow you to have a decent little career. If you're a good player, you can have a long career. If you're a great player, you can have a Hall of Fame transcendent career. The game within the game, to me, I was thinking about this a few weeks ago. It comes down to 4 things. And the comedy is that, not the comedy, but the irony, I guess, is that 3 of these are basically team rules. I don't know if it's all in the Shanahan system, but it was the 3 team rules we had in Green Bay, same in the Jets with slightly different wording. And then I've added a 4th one. That's just kind of the key to sticking around the league, playing the game within the game. Now, on top of the game within the game is talent, ability, production. But the game within the game is, rule number 1 is put the team first. So that involves some humility, not making it about yourself. Rule number 2 is no excuses or no complaining. Rule number 3 is be on time, be prepared. And the 4th rule that I've thrown in there is be a good teammate. And listen, we all, at times, there's been times that we've either pressed those rules or not adhere to those rules completely. And some of us who've been around forever probably have more opportunity to make a mistake and to stick around. But if you just do those 4 things, and I know it seems simple, but it's not, because I've seen guys get themselves cut by not following those rules. But if you just do those 4 things, just Ted Thompson used to always say, wrap yourself around the team. Just don't be the guy always complaining and making excuses. And then be on time, be prepared. That little one, I'm like super old school and weird, I guess. I have a yellow, legal pad that I like take notes on and flip pages over. That's just how I need to do it. And people have asked me, why do you do it that way? And I say, well, I have this 3-time rule. I want to hear it first, then I want to say it second, and then I want to write it third. So I hear the play or the install that we're doing. Then I say the play either like to myself, and then I write it down. Now I've given myself 3 times to remember the formation, the play, the potential can or adjustment, and then my responsibility. And then as I'm writing, and often it involves other people's responsibilities. But that's just how I prepare. Now that we have, everybody has iPads. Back in the day, we had little computers. We had computers. I had my computer out, I had my notepad out. Now, it's your iPad or whatever they got, and then I still take notes. I don't know that maybe that is better than what it used to be, where nobody had a computer. You had to watch film at work, and you had to take notes off of PowerPoint that was up there that eventually got to some sort of Adobe PowerPoint. But if you just do those 4 things, though, you give yourself a chance. At least you give yourself a chance. And I like to there's been a lot of guys over the years who've done that, who may not have been the most talented guys. And one of these guys, I actually saw him recently. I think he's coaching the league now, is Anthony Levine. You remember Tony Levine, AJ?
Oh yeah.
He was backup safety for us. And I remember he was in the P squad early, and he always brought energy every single day. And we called him the master of disaster because sometimes he would screw up the cards, a little bit. But he always played balls to the wall and would make plays in practice. But he was also an energy guy. But what he did do was he was always on time and prepared. He knew all the special team stuff. He, didn't make it about himself. He checked his ego at the door. And you know what Tony Levine did? He ended up getting picked up by Baltimore, played a long time in the league, double-digit years in the league, became a team captain, a core special teamer, and a guy you can count on to come in and play safety for you. And with all due respect, Tony, like, you weren't the most talented guy in the league.
Jeez. Master disaster.
But he got by.
Great dude.
Not just got by. Great dude, yeah. He not only got by, but he excelled because he understood the little things and never gave them a reason to get rid of them. And in my opinion, you can't have enough Tony Levines on your roster. And he's one of those examples of guy who just got it. He's like, I got it.
He's
this
senior,
is how I'm gonna
right?
stick around.
He has a senior or a junior afterwards, right? Tony Levine?
Yeah.
Okay, I do know him from special teams.
Yeah.
Weapon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolute weapon. I do remember him. 41? No.
I think 41.
41?
Yeah.
41.
He had a
Yep.
great career with the Ravens.
Yeah, I remember Tony Levine. I do as well. And he's now, Zito's telling me he's assistant special teams coordinator down at the Titans with Colt down there.
That's nice.
It's like
who's another guy? Another guy just like same mold. All those things Anthony was or is same with Colt.
Out of Montana. Mm-hmm. There's no way he's supposed to be in the NFL for 8 to 10 years, but just like every day, what do you need? How do you need it?
Byron Storer is another guy. Byron Storer would play with me at Cal. He was a teamer. He got in good with Gruden. He was, never going to be a full-time fullback in 21, but was a core special teamer. And then he went on to coach for a long time. He's still coaching, I believe, with Rich in Green Bay. Just guys who get it stick around, and you need those glue guys to kind of get the game within the game. And the guys that don't get it, if you're a great player, it's not gonna work out for you. If you're not a great player, you're gonna be out of the league pretty quick.
Yeah, very quick. Cup of coffee, they say about you. But if you're a great player and you also have that entire 4 core there, man, now that's what we're all trying to, that's what you're all trying. I would hope.
Calais Campbell.
Boom. Causing chaos.
Yeah.
How about him last night? He went bananas. Calais Campbell.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? What did he do?
Caused an interception, had a couple sacks, 3 tackles. I mean, just fucking full chaos. Calais Campbell.
38, I think, isn't he? 38.
Yeah, 38 years old.
Oh, I love it. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, he went bananas last night. And his energy, always high. I assume he has never been late to anything. And then he also was the one who pulled the car over when Tyreek going,
bingo.
Hey, what's going on? Be a good teammate. I mean, you're talking like everything all in one situation.
6'8" and that voice, too. He's got a pretty voice.
And the way he moves. Like, I've never really seen Shaq in like a public setting. I assume it's all very positive. The way Calais operates in those scenes, it's all everybody, how you doing? Make everybody feel happy. And then he moves along. Walter Payton, man, I mean.
Calais, Hall of Famer?
Troy said it last night. Whenever, and Troy, I think, has a lot to say, in this entire thing. Troy feels like he was like, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer whenever he decides to retire in this entire thing, is what Troy said. Do you feel that way as well?
I do. I really do. I think, he was a dominant player for many, many years in his career, and he still obviously can get it done. But yes, I definitely think so.
That long at that position.
Crazy.
With every human liking you, too. Like, that's not normal. Like, every human likes him. I think that goes into it for being immortalized for the game forever, which is what the Hall of Fame is, I think, in the end. Now, I'm not in it or have a vote, but I would say put his ass in camp.
Sure. Get him in there.
Go ahead, AJ. Ohio man.
You might be in there. You might be in there for media at some point to keep this thing going.
Contribution to sport. I know. I've already thought about that. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if that whole thing happened. Been nominated 3 times already. No big deal. No big deal. And I do appreciate the fact that they feel obligated to nominate me because of the chance.
Hall of Fame doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. And also the chance of the contribution of sport. So I think they're trying to
All branch.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate that. Hey, it's an honor to be on that list every single year. It's an honor to be on.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. Put Shane Leckler in there. Okay? Vinatieri needs to be first ballot, too. I don't even know.
He better be.
I don't even know what we're talking about here, but I guess there's some drawback on a kicker being
first ballot.
A kicker's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. I guess there is some people over there that feel that way. Vinatieri needs to be the first one over there.
Yeah.
Put him in.
Yeah. He said it. That means a lot more. That means a lot more. Go ahead, AJ.
Aaron, is it easier to do the little things or be motivated when things aren't going great? Like, I know, at least from personal experience, like when you're pissed at somebody or things aren't going great, it's a little easier to wake up and go do the little things that you might not want to do. I'm just wondering, is that one of the positive you can have from things not going great right now, but everything kind of out there in front of you if you do go on a run?
It's interesting. I would say it's the opposite, honestly, for most people. I think self-motivated people, I think you're exactly right. I think when things aren't going well, it's easier to wake up and go kind of like bite down on the bit and all right, let's get this shit done. That's my mentality. I don't know that that's the shared sentiment though for everybody. I almost think that the attitude is, and this is a football adage, but winning kind of glosses over everything. I think a lot of times, sometimes winning and dealing with success is the most difficult adversity because you start kind of resting on your laurels. I didn't study a whole lot last week, so I don't need to do it. We won. We're not gonna lose. And I think every great team or run kind of goes through that where we won 19 in a row at one point in Green Bay, and there was probably some things that started slipping a little bit that we weren't quite aware of, and unfortunately we lost in the division round that year. After going 15-1. So obviously there's some things that were going there. I think, for great competitors, when you're down, that's when your back's against the wall and you got to examine everything. But I don't know if that's the sentiment with every player across the league when things aren't going great.
You would think that with perspective, that's why like in these college season, whenever you're thinking about a team, it's like they got embarrassed the week before. Their coach is they're gonna go back. They're gonna kind of dive in more. I think that's why AJ, you probably feel that way too, because every time you've ever done terrible, it's like that next week. The anxiety's so high about it happening again. That's how I was pretty much.
That's how I am too. That's how I am. Yeah, I just so badly want to just fucking let's get to Sunday. Let's get to Sunday, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking, if I do that again, I'm gonna have no job, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's healthy. That's a healthy fear. I think that's a motivation thing. Like the healthy.
I think
fear
so too.
Hey, I'm not going to be here anymore.
Yeah, not enough. Adam Vinatieri, we were just talking about him. He was in his 20-something year, 22nd year or whatever it was. Okay, it was old. It had been able to vote. It had been able to buy tobacco and scratch offs his career. And there was something that needed to be said to somebody, like a coach. And Vinatieri was certainly the guy that should go say something to coach or whatever, right? Special teams coach. I'm not doing that, he says. I'm like, why are you not doing that? He goes, I'm so old, so expensive, they'll fire me. I'll get fired. I'm like, Vinny, you're not going to get fired. He's like, yeah, they will get you don't think they want my ass out of here for a younger, cheaper model? Do you even fucking know the league? Like, he started like talking shit to me, and I'm like, Vinny, they are not going to cut you, Vinny. Can I promise you they're not going to cut you? He's like, oh, okay. No, you know everything. Yeah, you've been in the league for a long time. Okay. And then he just kind of like walks off or whatever. And it was like, Vinny had an actual fear for every day he was in there. For whatever reason. I'm too old, I'm too expensive now. Whenever he's young, he was didn't get drafted. Oh, this is going to happen. In the middle of his career, they're going to think I'm going to get hurt. Like if I miss a couple, it's like every day Vinny thought he was going to get fired if he didn't do something great. It's like that's a healthy thing to have. I don't know how many people got it. Seems like not a lot in Coltsville right now.
None.
Can't get comfortable. Matt Slater, he was one of my favorite teammates every day, like how he showed up, kind of like the same mode of all these guys that we've been talking about. Like every day, he was like, D-Butt, man. Like my ass, I'll be playing for the Argonauts. Like, every time, every rep, whether it's a joint practice, because like Slater was, balls to the wall. Every rep, didn't matter what he was doing. Scout team, defense, wide receiver, special teams, whatever. But moving on, I got a good question for you. I think a good question.
It is a good question, I think.
For these young quarterbacks, and you talked about kind of obviously you've been in the league forever, so you March OTAs, all this shit. Now I feel like time is so much cut back in the building. Is it almost a necessity for these young quarterbacks to kind of have an off-season quarterback coach or somebody, I guess, third party or somebody that they can have on their team they can kind of check in with, work through things throughout the offseason? I know receivers, they can go and run routes, maybe catch balls from receivers, DBs, same movement stuff. But as far as knowing schemes, a lot of things are pretty similar team to team. But for a QB trying to develop with so many things on their plate so early, what do you think about that off-season quarterback coach type things as a younger quarterback when it comes to development?
Yeah, I have an interesting perspective because I never had that. I never really felt like I needed, an off-season kind of quarterback guru with me. I had Tom Clements. Tom is the best quarterback guru that I know. And so I got to work with him starting in March. But I do think the off-seasons are so very important for young players to figure out how to take care of your body during that time and how much football to do, how much clearing your mind to do. But at some point, it's got to kick in. This is a full-time job. And I think it's a different game, than when I was a young player where Victory Monday meant, you don't come in Monday, you don't come in Tuesday. Right? That's not really the case anymore. Like,
no more see you Wednesdays. What?
I joke about that, the few times we've won, which twice have been on Thursday. So seeing Wednesday didn't really hit as much as, when we actually won a game on Sunday. But
you felt real good that first time.
I did feel good in Tennessee. Yeah, see you Wednesday. Yeah. But I do feel like when I say it's a full-time job, that means you're in every day. You're doing something football every single day. So even if it was like, hey, you're kind of off on Wednesday, just get a workout on Monday or Tuesday. It's never really, maybe one, twice at most in a season where you're like, I'm going to take Tuesday fully off and not go in. But if I were to do that, I'd be in the tubs, I'd be in the cold plunge, I'd be in the sauna, I'd be doing red light therapy, I'd be getting body work.
Oh.
You're never just off. I think that's the thing. You're never just off. And even in the off season, I think it's important to find a way to turn that switch off. But you're turning off your brain. You're not turning off your body. Like, you guys still take care of your body. I think if I was a young player, what I would do is I would seek out a veteran guy who knows the game and just pick his brain and get a mentor. Like, get a mentor that's played at a high level, that's done it, that can help you, that you maybe watch film with once a week or twice a week, or maybe you do fundamental stuff together, or maybe just talk about the role of being a CEO as a quarterback. I think that's really, really important. And sometimes you're lucky enough to have that guy in the room. And you've been talking about Anthony. Like, Joe Flacco to me would be a perfect guy. Joe's won a Super Bowl. He's been around for a long time. He's played on a couple other teams, played at a high level for a long, long time. Like, what a great resource to just be like, man, let me just pick this dude's brain and learn. Or if I'm a young player reaching out to a Matt Stafford, Matt's been around forever. He played at a super high level. Or retired guys like a Matt Ryan, Matt's a great dude. Like, reaching out to a guy like that and say, hey, can we just talk once a week about what it's like to play in this league, what I need to do, how I can get better, how I can figure out my Monday to Saturday schedule. Just like, how did you prepare? What did you watch on Monday? What did you watch on Tuesday? What did you watch on Wednesday? How did you approach the install meetings during the week? What days did you like to work out on to make your body feel best? Any like little hacks, that you like that help you feel good coming up till game day? Like, I don't know. That's as a young player, if you don't have in the room, or even if you do, like, having an outside resource like that, I think would be really good.
That's the whole convo about these young quarterbacks right now.
Yep.
And obviously Jaden's having great success, and CJ had great success last year, and he's going to continue to have great success. So I think, fans are like expecting them to be great immediately upon getting dropped in there. And then it's like you start looking back in time outside of Peyton. Okay, Peyton is different, but he has the most interceptions in the history of any rookie quarterback. And I think Nick Saban maybe said, Coach Nick Saban came out and said, Peyton's mental toughness was built up to have a lot of failures that first year as a rookie quarterback. But you talk about everybody else, yourself included, you didn't have to play immediately, watch it, and inevitably becomes one of the greatest of all time. It's like, I think that is a huge development for quarterbacks to have and to get is like, and take a breath even after everything you just did, high school, college, to get to this point. It's been a lot. Now, take a breath and learn what this next one is and go forward. But some places it's never going to be possible because they need it now. That's why hearing you say reach out to these retired guys is cool, because is that the quarterback community? I don't think I know. Quarterback community pretty opening and welcoming? Like if people reach out, pretty is that a normal thing?
I mean, I think so. I mean, every time when I was a young player and I used to see some of the older guys at Tahoe especially, like it was always kind of like, hey, you're in the fraternity, like you're one of us. And, the Dan Marinos and John Elways. I mean, Steve Young has been a good friend of mine for a while, somebody I've reached out to when I was a younger player to ask questions about certain things. And he was great, and I think the guys, I don't know, I think guys would enjoy that, to still be connected, to help a young guy going through it. It is different. I sat for 3 years. J Love sat for 3 years. There's been
Tom
guys
sat behind Drew.
Tom sat, yeah.
But Patrick sat behind Alex Smith.
Yeah. I mean, and the flip side of that is some guys are ready to play in year one. But that doesn't end the story. Like I think the media world wants to crown a guy after a year. Second year is really hard because now you got 17 games of film plus playoffs on a guy to try and figure out how to stop him. And that's why it's so impressive for a guy like Lamar or anybody to win multiple MVPs, because you've had years to game plan this guy and try and figure out, okay, there was a time where everybody was zero blitzing Lamar. Let's zero blitz Lamar like crazy. Well, we got through that stretch. There's stretches of your career where you got to get through whatever the label is on how to stop, you and the way you play. And first you got to establish what the label is, because you got to go out and ball out, and then them try and figure out how to stop you. But it doesn't stop after one good year. I made the Pro Bowl my first year. Well, okay, then do it again the next year. Like it's going to be harder. Now you have 6 games against division opponents that spend a lot of their off season scouting those 3 games, trying to figure out how to stop you. So the second year is really hard. Then you kind of get over a lump at some point where now there's enough film out there that you've seen a lot more, but you're always working on your game and always working on your preparation and always working on the little things. And I think any older quarterback, whether still playing or retired, I think that's part of the fun part of the legacy is to help the next generation. So I don't know how much that goes on. I think it would help certain people in certain positions, but even like Jaden after this year, I mean, it's going to be a good year. Wherever how he finishes, I got a real good team. That would probably be in the playoffs.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, congrats.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, yeah. I mean, but then there's going to be 17 plus games of film out there on you, and you're going to have to watch that as intently as they're watching it to figure out how they're going to try and stop you and what you can do better. And then you reinvent yourself every single year. And which is why it's so impressive to see a guy like Lamar. I'm going to bring him up again because he has gone from the most dynamic athlete in the league, which he was. And I'm not saying he's not still. I mean, he's got to be in the top couple if he's not still the most dynamic. I mean, with the ball in his hands, it's like him and Tyreek Hill are 2 of the scariest guys. I think with the ball in their hands. Yeah. But now he's done such a great job of throwing the ball on time from the pocket that makes it really tough to stop.
What did they do to you? Patrick Mahomes, they won cover 2 and just said he's going to get bored. He's going to get bored. He's not going to be able to handle running the ball and then having to play defense. That's what they did to Patrick Mahomes. He obviously gets through it. They won a Super Bowl during the entire thing. What did they do to you? What was the first thing that they started doing to you? Do you recall?
Well, it usually starts, at least back then, it started with pressure. They would try and pressure you early and see if you can pick up pressure, if you can deal the ball, if you can throw hot, if you can do production adjustments. Then a lot of times, and it went for us, it was playing a lot of too high. All right, can you be patient? Can you be patient taking checkdowns? Can you be patient throwing the ball underneath?
Tale as old as time.
Can we? And then for me, because I was extending plays so much, it was really the rush patterns that changed. So it was really box rushes, to just, like interior, very stout in the middle, and not rushing past the quarterback.
Keep you in a well, brother. Keep you in a well, brother. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're still doing that because you're fucking wide open out there.
Hell yeah.
Don't ever forget it.
I mean, that sucks for DBs, though.
What's that?
Like quarterbacks like Aaron or like Big Ben or somebody was like, yeah, keep him in the well, but that's,
4 or 5 seconds.
4 seconds when you got guys to adjust. And then when these quarterbacks play with these receivers, so like we see with Patrick and Travis, like he knows as soon as he breaks, like Travis, okay, I'm going this way, and then boom, he comes, the ball's right on him. Devontae, Jordy, whoever it is, like you play with these guys so long, you know their intention, you know their body language. So it's like, yeah, keeping them in the well is great. But then when you have that extra time where you got to cover, where it doesn't matter, you can call the perfect coverage on 3rd and 8, but then you got to extend, like you can't cover that shit.
5-second plays all of a sudden become a nightmare for those who have to run all over the field and can't.
Well, that was always, I think, the backbreakers. I think DB, you'd probably agree with this. When they clamp us, when they would clamp us, and I would extend the play and get out of the pocket and find somebody after 5 or 6 seconds, those are backbreakers for the defense, because you just don't have a defense. We were talking about that with DJ Reed. He was laughing. He said, yeah, man, I just wasn't ready for the 45-yard comeback route. He's covering a guy. The guy's running vertical. He's running with him, and then the guy breaks his route off, and a long scramble and completes a pass. He said, yeah, I didn't have that on the on the old tape I watched this week. He didn't have that route. He didn't show me that route, the cut-ups.
Hey, that's perfect segue for this particular question, because I guess 27 of the 35 sacks that have come for this one particular player are 4+ second plays.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't really know, and he's a rookie, he's young. I mean, it kind of all ties to this. Go ahead, Con, man.
Yeah, Aaron, big news today is Shane Waldron getting fired as the Bears OC, and obviously because of that, there's a lot of conversation about Caleb and the offensive line in Chicago and all that stuff. But what do you think is kind of going on with Caleb just personally when it comes to all these things happening? There's a radio show that's saying, some vets wanted Waldron out, and they were asking if Bajan could get some time. But for Caleb as a rookie, what do you think he's kind of going through mentally, and how do you think the rest of the season kind of goes for him here after the change at OC and kind of getting a fresh voice in his helmet now?
Well, unfortunately, that's the nature of our league now, right? It's coaches and play callers on both sides of the ball aren't making it through a season. There's been a lot of quarterbacks who've had rough starts to their career with multiple play callers. I feel like at one point Alex Smith had 4 different play callers first 4 years or something, I believe, in San Fran. You can fact check me on that, but I know there's a number of play callers, and there's been a lot of guys who figured it out over the years. But it doesn't make it easy on the quarterback, for sure. There's just not a lot of patience anymore in the league. It's get this guy out of here. And unfortunately, what happens, and I really mean this, is a lot of it is rinse and repeat under the guise of a brand new scheme, brand new approach, and that's the way the league is going too often. There's not the patience to go, listen, I believe in X, this person, this scheme, this coordinator, this player, and we're going to weather these storms because it's going to make us a mentally tough group or a mentally tough person. Yeah. And we're going to get behind these people. And I don't care what you have to say outside the building. This is what we're going to do. And for a young player to come in like that, be drafted first overall with all the pressure, scrutiny, expectations, obviously with the roster moves they made, and then you get rid of the guy calling the plays after 10 games, something like that. That's a tough deal for him. But I don't know him. I know I know a little bit about him, and I
don't
think
give him advice.
He's strong enough. I'm not giving him advice. He's strong enough.
No, listening. No, I'm joking.
Drake May, though.
That was a moment between he and C.J. Stroud. That was a moment between he and C.J. Stroud, which obviously
he's strong enough mentally to get through this. He is. And Chicago is a great sports town. They got great sports fans. But the consensus for all fans is, if we're not winning now, everybody needs to get the hell out. Yeah. And listen, there are places I'm sure that are broken, locker rooms that may not be sticking together, or staffs that need to shake up from time to time. But I would continue to preach patience for players and for coaches. But you know what it starts with? Ownership. Ownership has to come out and make strong statements. This is the plan. This is what we're doing. We're going to trust the process or trust the guys that are in place. Unless there's a major problem, an issue, an arrest, or something that throws a wrench in the plans.
A lot of those coming.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of what could derail. Hey, listen, we're giving this thing 3 years. This is what we're doing. And I don't care what the outside opinions are. But unfortunately, I think there's too often the opinions of whether it's the social media world or the incredible experts out there talking about football actually impacts
Bill told us that yesterday. Bill Belichick told us that.
Billion dollar organizations.
Bill told us that yesterday. We were mind blown. Because we had heard that was potentially the case in some spots because our name had been mentioned maybe and a coach had to answer for something that I fucking said on my show for him. He's like, do you know that I had to actually, because you, and I'm like, oh no, that can't be real. And then we asked Bill yesterday, he's like, back in Cleveland, they were saying things. In the morning paper, he would have to answer the questions that were basically coming through the opinion parts of newspapers. He's like, this has been happening since the beginning of time, seemingly, with teams. That's wild. That is wild to think about. But hey, makes it fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we've been saying this whole time. We should be listened to.
Duh.
Yeah. We should be the ones.
Not us.
Just give us a team.
Please.
We'll be back tomorrow with another great show that'll impact the NFL. Crazy.
Well, it's hilarious, too, because it was right on the heels of the Broncos thing where you're like, this guy can't be out here. What are we doing? This guy cannot be out here.
That was tough. That blocked field goal for the Chiefs. Did you see that? Did you see the Chiefs win on a blocked field goal?
I did. What did you say?
It was just the worst form I've ever seen from that particular spot too. Field side end. That's like the most important part. Those three right there are a big deal, obviously, because science. That's where the ball's headed. So for him just to tuck his head, squat his ass, be on his heels, that is the last thing we need. And I would like to let Alex Forsythe know that I said a lot of things. It was about the way he was on the field, and it's not his fault. He shouldn't be there. Clearly, I saw some film from earlier games. He should not be there. He should not be there. That's just the way it is.
Somebody's got to point it out.
Well, somebody should have seen that.
He's probably thinking the same thing.
Thank God.
Jesus Christ.
He's put a circle on me. Thank God. Coach, give me out.
At least you're doing it as someone who's been in those meetings and stuff like that versus a columnist who has no clue.
Yeah, I agree, but I did.
Oh, they don't have a clue? What do you mean? No, what I was going to say was,
guys, an AP vote.
I used to sit my last year in Green Bay in Rich Bisaccia's special teams meetings when I could. And he used to always say the most difficult position on the field goal team was those spots right there, those three spots to the rush side. And it was just he would challenge those guys. And I mean, I love Rich in general. He's a fucking amazing coach, and a great motivator. But he would talk about how difficult he's like, one of the most difficult positions in sports. It's terrible. You just got guys just trying to fucking run you over every time.
Yeah, and the actual technique is called die slowly. So that first word, pretty important. Gonna die. Okay, that is we just need you to die slowly. Which once again, that guy was not supposed to be in the front lines.
No.
That guy was not supposed to be there. That was not his role. And on the flip side, Leo
was the kick going in though? Could you tell trajectory-wise?
Will said it felt good. Too quick. I mean,
right away.
I mean, he exploded through that ball.
You
would have thought with where it was blocked at, you would think that would be like an A rush, an A gap rush because he gets over so quick. I mean, he is right in front of the ball. That very rarely happens in field goals, which goes back to, the technique was just absolute crap.
Very, very rarely happens, huh?
Listen,
I don't think he had control of his body.
No.
What?
Possessed.
What do you think? Okay.
Some tape.
Possessed by tape.
Die slow.
Okay.
Pretty quick.
Okay. Obviously.
Witchcraft.
It could have been. The aura is real.
Yeah,
True.
You never know.
That concert was insane. I know you've been to one or two. The Taylor Swift
Yeah,
concert.
two.
Insane.
Insane.
I couldn't even imagine what it was like over there at MetLife. I don't know.
It was insane. Yeah, I was with your buddy Miles over there.
just talked to Glenn. I don't know if you heard it. Miles' buddy Glenn. We just talked to in the first hour in this entire thing. How was Miles
There's
doing?
big rivalry between those two, isn't
Oh,
there?
no.
Big rivalry.
Both handsome. One's brunette, one's blonde. One of them can really fucking dance.
There is now probably.
That's Rooster and Hangman.
It's Glenn can't dance. Is that that's
Whoa.
the rumor?
I don't know if Glenn can or can't dance,
I
but I
bet
know
Glenn can dance.
I know Miles Teller.
That's what Miles said. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Wow.
I did hear Miles say
Elite
that.
dancer.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think I did hear Miles is doing his shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Said
in front of
said
him.
he couldn't drum either. You know, he was on the drumline movie.
Yeah. Him and Nick Cannon, they can't read the
Whiplash.
music. Yeah, but Whiplash, there it is. Yeah, I remember that entire thing.
Come on. A little different movie.
But he was, let's
premise.
say, he was at Aaron's. He was at your birthday.
Premise.
Yeah, it was at your birthday. He was dancing and drumming at the same time. And he said, "Can fucking Hangman do this?"
No, he
I don't
can't.
think so. He did that sweet. He can dance his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
I watched Miles Teller's feet start to spark flames on this dance, literally while they were fucking moving in front of him. Oh, I got captivated by that entire
Yeah,
thing.
and plus he also knows the most important thing in the history of mankind. No one.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean no one.
Yep.
Oh, Pizza's the Hut.
Sent me a picture of him eating Pizza Hut pizza. Sent me a
loves
picture
Pizza
of
Hut.
him eating Pizza Hut pizza. He said, I fucking love when you guys talk about Pizza Hut. Miles, it is. I fucking love when you guys talk about Pizza Hut.
Legend.
And then he sent me a picture of his Pizza Hut pizza. That was hilarious.
Goddamn right.
Fucking-
Yeah, how does somebody that much Pizza Hut and look like that?
I don't get it.
Good question.
What are you saying?
You tell us.
You tell us.
What are you saying?
He's a genetic freak.
Glenn mentioned Ozempic, didn't he, this morning or not?
No, he did not.
I don't think Glenn.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
It was on a different show. I think he was on The View talking about it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah.
Of course.
You
That
watched
was
that one.
probably.
You watch The View, definitely.
Yeah, you've seen clips certainly over the
Same
last
show.
couple weeks.
Same premise.
The same show. You're right.
show.
Same premise.
Talk reviewing.
Same show, right? The same as this.
Yeah, we're
Same show.
viewing, we're talking. Yeah, the whole thing. Got it going on. What a time. Anyway, so let's talk about, can we talk about a little drama? There's a little drama going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Ton Diggs has a question for you.
Yeah, and I want to read this quote word for word so it doesn't get taken out of context.
Whoa.
Okay, let me just read the quote. It says, "You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did."
Okay. That was not.
Is Mike McCarthy a hard worker, or that's
Word
pretty?
for
Just,
word.
There's a lot of words you left out there at the beginning.
that was a quote.
Who said that?
Micah Parsons. Aaron, listen, there's no reason.
That's what he said.
There's no reason to get into it. I did not know that's how that was going to go, a word-for-word recreation, if you will, of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was asked about Mike McCarthy being on the last year of his contract. Micah Parsons then explained about how coaches, and Mike knows this, coaches can go coach for another 10 years. He's worried about, like, Zach Martin and other guys that have been around the Dallas Cowboys. And then he ended it with saying, you know, those guys, those legends have done more work than Mike McCarthy could ever do or something like that.
That's very kind of you to phrase it that way.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely different. It was certainly a
He
shock.
fucking killed him.
It was certainly
My
a
question
shock.
at the end was just, does Mike McCarthy work hard?
Yes, Mike. What are your thoughts on Mike McCarthy? I think that would be a good angle in this entire thing. But yeah, it was. He said he didn't intend to bury anybody on his show.
Right.
He said that. So we got to take him for his word. But it certainly wasn't.
But he did.
Does he have a Tuesday show?
I think it go Monday.
Monday.
It's Mondays,
Monday.
yeah.
No, Mike.
I love Mike. Mike's Pittsburgh tough through and through, man. Love Mike. 13 incredible years together. So I ain't got much to say besides that, man. Mike's my boy. I love Mike, and you know, sometimes some people say things. Shit, I've said a lot of things I won't say back.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit back, but held on to that one. Yeah, say words going out.
And Mike.
Nothing about COVID, of course, but that's
No, of course not.
No.
Or treatments, but or you know, whatever. Mike McCarthy had some jokes yesterday.
He did.
Because there's
Did
conversation
he?
about the Cowboys Stadium and the sun getting in, and there was they had an actual shade blocking the press conference because of the sun that was getting in. So there's just so much going on in Dallas right now, and Mike McCarthy's right in the middle of all of it. And
listen. What I know about Mike is, if anybody can handle that down there, it's Big Mike. Big Mike is built for adversity, and you know, I know just talking to some guys that play down there, and I read part of an article that was out a few weeks ago about the tours and stuff that are down there. You know, there's some interesting things that goes on in Dallas for sure. I've never been there, so I can't speak firsthand. But if anybody can handle what's going on in there, it's Big Mike. So I hope, I feel bad for Dak getting banged up, but I hope they can figure things out. And hopefully, I think Mike is almost back, isn't he?
He played.
Yeah,
he played
his first game.
Oh, he played?
Very
okay,
fast.
yeah,
Very
played.
fast. Very still so fast.
Still got it.
Still good for great football.
Yeah. Well, I love Mike and hope they can get it sorted out down there.
I hope they do too.
Hell
Shake
yeah.
their hands.
Yeah.
Big Mike McCarthy said I talked to Mike in person. We handled it like gentlemen do. And then moved on. We faced the head
Big
on.
Mike football.
And then we moved on. Teammates don't understand what's going on here. I'm working my ass off for fucking losing it. What do you want from me? McCarthy, I like this comment when it does create questions for others in the locker room, something that I've always done. Conversation has to happen. So
I don't know if this was the case, but I will say, I said something that I wanted back in a post-game press conference. And the next day, once I walked in the facility, 8 different people said, "Hey, see Mike." It was like everybody in the building know when 12 gets in the building and you see him, you tell his ass to get upstairs to see me. So, I wonder if it was. And listen, I apologize. We hugged it out. We had a couple of laughs, but I wonder if it was the same. Like, hey, if you see when Micah gets in there, you see 11 in the building. He's number 11, right? If you see 11 in the building, you tell him to come see Big Mike.
listen, Michael might need to talk to you.
I hope so, just because I know what that felt like for me. It was like, damn, how many people knew? It was like the cafeteria, the janitor said it, the equipment guy, trainer. I couldn't even do any treatment. Oh, get up there.
Getting called to the carpet. Everybody knows. Hey, listen, we're not even allowed to touch your legs right now. You gotta go. Talk to Mike.
Get your ass out of here. Get up there.
Jeez, that's what the equipment room. Yeah, man, the cafeteria. Yeah, big. Mike
Everybody knew about it.
Yeah, everybody got
It's
called.
like they had like a team-wide meeting.
Hey, excuse me.
Hey, you see that dumbass come in here? You tell him. Get up here.
Maybe even showed the video of what you said. Okay.
They might.
Did you hear what he just said? So he doesn't talk to any of you until he talks to me. Okay, send him up here. What a time. Big Mike's a legend. I'm excited to see how it all works out. Doesn't seem like it's going to be great in the end. Speaking of great in the end, an NFC North team is looking for that. Ty has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, last week we talked about Jared Goff and kind of were gushing praise on him, rightfully so. And then obviously he has arguably the worst game of his career on Sunday night, throws 5 picks. I don't think you've definitely never had a situation like that, but is that just like a Murphy's Law type deal where just everything that could have possibly went wrong did go wrong? And how easy, I mean, obviously they win, so it's a little bit easier, but how easy is it to flush a performance like that moving on to the next week?
I mean, I think if you got a good process, it's easy to do that. I mean, it's crazy though, right? I mean,
very.
We played the best half of our season against Houston and beat them by 8. Didn't turn the ball over. They turned the ball over, I don't know, at least 5 times, and they beat them at Houston. I mean, it's a fucking crazy thing. Jared hadn't thrown 5 incompletions, I don't think, in a game.
Yeah.
Right? For how many weeks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. And then he throws 5 picks. I love Jared. I'm sure he'll bounce back. And the amazing stat, though, is this a true stat that he's done 4 more picks 7 times and he's won every single one of those games? Is that real?
Yep, 7-0.
That's wild. I mean, that's why stats are for what Big Mike used to say, age?
Stats for losers. But he did say also conflict is good. Like he's not scared of conflict. He's not scared of
Conflict.
NFC North, though, it's the Minnesota won. So what's the NFC North looking like right now?
Green Bay fresh off a
bye.
Yeah. Bye. There we go. Thank you.
No problem.
It's good.
Lions.
All right. Okay. And the Pack still plays the Bears twice.
Bears twice, Lions one more time, and Vikings one more time.
Just real quick.
So they have 4 more division games.
Yeah, and just real quick, the Vikings down 7-0 to the Colts at halftime. So
and
33-0.
Let's keep that was last year.
30. That was the comeback game they had against.
Yeah, it's a new year.
Yeah,
okay.
Just Saturday I had him eating oranges in the locker room at halftime.
I don't know what happened in there. Has he ever answered?
Get the slices out, boys.
Have we
We
ever
did
found
it.
out what happened? That's a big comeback. That's a big comeback.
Ever. Big.
For a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Just a big comeback.
Yep. They turned the tables there pretty good.
NFC North is cooking, though, and turn the tables would be nice. Could still happen. A lot of teams still very much in this thing. Good luck against the Colts this weekend, brother. We're incredibly proud of you.
I don't care if you mean that or not, but I appreciate that.
Good luck, man.
I know Ty is rooting for me. Ty, who's Iowa got this week? You got a cupcake, Ohio State or something?
No, we got Maryland. But I'm actually at the point where I don't give a fuck anymore. You can't go out to UCLA and drop the ball like you just can't do it. You can't do it.
That was tough. Especially after what happened with Sullivan. Here we go. It's going to be a
They
thing.
just didn't block. You rush for fucking 250 yards every single week, and then you decide, hey, UCLA fucking sucks. We're going to the Rose Bowl. We don't even have to block this week. And then turns out he gets dinged up. We got some fucking guy playing quarterback I've never seen before. He was actually kind of spinning it, kind of want him moving forward. But it's just, it's just.
Yeah, you were big on him the previous week.
Big time. Yeah, this is the guy. They're just so fucking Jekyll and Hyde. I can't do it. They're world.
Well, I will say it's been a while since Iowa played in the Rose Bowl, right? So they just weren't used to the stadium. They just weren't used to that stadium.
No, we played very recently when Christian McCaffrey was at Stanford. Got beat about 45-7 in the Rose Bowl, but it wasn't that long ago.
Go Hawks.
Okay.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
Belichick was talking about how big of a genius Ferentz was yesterday, so that's all I need.
Hey, speaking of college ball, tonight the college football playoff second live ranking will be released. This 12-team playoff thing is sweet. I think it's going to be electrifying.
Should have had it 20 years ago.
Agreed, man. Isn't it crazy? The NCAA sells its right to deem a champion to the BCS. Then that just becomes we're picking two teams that get to play for it, and everybody else, you're going to win a BCS Bowl. A BCS Bowl became like a thing. West Virginia, we won our first BCS Bowl.
Sweet.
It was like a big deal,
huge.
But it didn't make any sense. Now, after we won a couple times, it was like, should be able to fucking earn our way.
Yeah. Oh, this doesn't mean shit.
So, and then UCF has that entire, they just deem themselves national champions.
Undefeated.
And then they're like, you know what? Let's make it 4. That'll help it all out. And then it's like, nope, that did not help. Now you have to win 4 straight if you don't get a first round bye to win a natty. I think we are going to find out. At least everybody gets a fair shake at it. Aaron?
Who would have had BYU and Boise State in last week's, and they both won, so they'll probably both still be there.
Oh yeah, and IU, brother. Look at IU, brother.
Where's what?
Indiana University, exactly.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Signetti, man.
Hey, he's a dog.
Like the six.
Get him back on the program, man.
I know. He was on
Get him
DB
back
this
on
morning.
there.
He dropped a great gem. I was watching it. Every time he talks, I have to listen because I have no fucking idea where he's headed. Is he going to bury somebody? There's a chance.
Yeah.
Is he going to talk shit? Probable. But what is he? And then is it going to be something incredibly motivating or like leadership-wise? It's like maybe. That guy is special. All right. We appreciate the hell out of you, brother.
Cal wins out 8-4, put them in the playoff.
Something to think about.
Done deal.
West Virginia, too.
Yeah, West Virginia's got a path. West Virginia's got a path still in the Big 12 championship, so maybe we'll see out
I
there.
bet they do, yeah. See you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.